Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we have a good video for you. Today we have to go over the latest on Jakob Chychrun of the Arizona Coyotes. I know, guys, we've been talking about Jakob Chychrun a lot, but these rumors continue to come out. We're starting to hear more and more about Jakob Chychrun. We got some pretty big news earlier this week. The price tag for Jakob Chychrun at this point, so we'll be going over that. Now, I know I made a video earlier this week, last week, but we didn't know the price tag. Now we officially know, well, more likely than not, we know the price tag of Jakob Chychrun because we know the trade for Jack Eichel, what the price was. It wasn't exactly the price that we were hearing was out there. So, this is from Jeff Merrick. The Coyotes want a high-end prospect, a young player, and a first-round pick for defenseman Jakob Chychrun. I don't think that's too much of a surprise. A high-end prospect, probably a first-round pick. A young player, which is a guy probably already on the roster between 20 and 23, 24 years old. And that first-round pick, you're looking at a pretty big package there. Now, the thing is, I think the Coyotes are going with a different mentality than Buffalo, in terms of they want more value from the player, in terms of they'd rather have three really good players in this package than, say, 4 or 5 first-round picks, just in general. So I think that is going to be, they want more quality over quantity, going back to the Coyotes. So I think that's something that we're going to have to kind of look at. We're also hearing from Jeff Merrick that teams that may be interested in Chychrun include the Kings, the Los Angeles Kings, the St. Louis Blues, and the Anaheim Ducks. That's not really too shocking. A lot of you, I made a video the other day, and you're like, the Kings, that would be a dream. It sounds like that is a possibility. And now that the Kings and the Ducks are out of their division, technically, they're no longer in the Pacific Division. They play in the Central. There is a really strong chance that that could happen. Now, I did find it interesting that the Blues made this list, but we know they've been looking to add a big-name player now. They were looking at Jack Eichel. They've been looking around, looking for those big-name guys to bring in. Jakob Chychrun could be that guy. And you look at that defense, you've got Torrey Krug, Justin Falk. Is Vince Dunn still there? Or is it the other guy? I'm trying to... One of them went to Seattle, right? And then you add Jakob Chychrun. That's a pretty good blue line. And that's Colton Parayko. That's his name. Colton Parayko, Justin Falk, Torrey Krug, and Jakob Chychrun. That's a pretty solid top 4. So I think Chychrun will definitely be, having a lot of general managers salivating at the thought of him coming into the organization. But that's not all the news we got out of Arizona. We also got some news about their building situation, and this is a little bit more bad news for the Coyotes. So there's a report from Craig Morgan, a big Coyotes insider. The Coyotes' Tempe Arena plan doesn't have enough council votes to approve yet, may pursue a deal with nearby Indian community. So let's take a look at this little statement here. So the Coyotes' hopes for building a $1.75 billion arena and entertainment district in Tempe are teetering on a razor's edge. 2 sources with knowledge of the situation said that the Coyotes do not currently have the votes in the Tempe City Council to approve the project and move forward. Per those sources, there are 3 yes votes, 2 no votes, and 2 votes that are undecided, but leaning toward no after the Coyotes' recent failure to pay taxes and bills came to light. And this is in quote, "The Coyotes certainly aren't doing themselves any favors with the negative news stories," one source said. "I would imagine if another negative story comes up on owner Alex Meruelo or the organization or their business practices, it probably will die. Those stories hurt tremendously, and it's not good PR when you're trying to bring a team in." And this is a little bit more here. Proponents of the deal note that the project is essentially a free entertainment district that would generate jobs and millions of dollars for the city. While a portion of the city's sales tax revenue generated by the site would be used to pay $200 million in additional costs, that revenue clearly would not exist without the development. Proponents worry that if the deal is turned down, the Coyotes could pursue a deal with the nearby Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. It would be right on Tempe's border, so Tempe would get all the problems, including the traffic, and get none of the revenue, a source said. And this is continuing. Opponents wonder about the financing of the deal. While the Coyotes have said that the deal would be privately financed, there is no indication who their investors are or how solid that financing is. Recent stories have suggested that the site's proximity to Sky Harbor International Airport, coupled with the height of some structures, could pose a problem, but multiple sources believe that the airport concerns are a non-issue, with many suggesting that opponents such as the city of Phoenix are using it to kill the deal because the development would be in direct competition with downtown Phoenix and the Footprint Center, home of the Phoenix Suns. The Coyotes hired a Federal Aviation Administration consultant earlier in the process to guide them through any potential issues. So, the Coyotes, I hate to say it, they're using leverage. And the leverage is, okay, all right, the city of Tempe wants to play this little game with us, and they're making it more difficult for us to go through with this. So we're going to get an Indian reserve involved. And it's right on the border of Tempe. So basically, you're going to have, all your little downsides that you're saying that, well, we're going to have issues with traffic and infrastructure. That's all going to still be in Tempe, except it's technically going to be on this Indian, property, this Indian territory. So I think that's a very interesting strategy here for the Coyotes. And considering they just went back to the Kachina jerseys, for some reason, I wonder if that had anything to do with it. I'm being nice when I say that, but I just wonder if that's maybe a little bit, it doesn't hurt the process, right? To say the least. So I think this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We know buildings are difficult to make here in 2022, and they're only going to get more difficult to make. And that's kind of how this works. You look at all across the NHL. Multiple NHL franchises have had problems bringing in a new building. The Chicago Blackhawks, they had some problems when they were building the United Center. I remember the Pittsburgh Penguins when they had, when they were closing Mellon Arena and building what is now PPG Paints. That was a problem. They've also had plenty of others around the NHL. I remember the Islanders, right? The Islanders not that long ago were having problems getting a new building. And we're seeing it currently. Not only are the Coyotes struggling, you look at a team like the Calgary Flames, their deal with the city of Calgary just fell through. Their brand new building idea. That fell through. And now we're seeing it here with the Coyotes. I think the more concerning thing about the Coyotes is, when does Gary Bettman step in and say, and the NHL says, all right, we either have to sell in and we have to make sure this works, or we're going to have to move the Coyotes. And I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to happen even this year. But the Coyotes are at that point now with the fact that they will not be in Gila River Arena in this fall, in the fall of 2022. The Coyotes are going to have a lot of instability in the organization. And you wonder what is next for this team, because at this point, a team that's been rumored to be leaving the city of, really leaving Arizona as a state, this stuff happening does not help that cause. So let me know what you guys think. What's the latest on the Coyotes? Do you see them going to that Indian reserve? Do you see things getting done with Tempe because they realize that this is a real, legitimate possibility? Do you see them moving, relocating, maybe to Milwaukee, potentially Houston? Let me know what you guys think down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, more videos just like this one, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.